Now we got problem 6. Again, find all solutions on the interval 0 to 2 pi. Let's take a look at what we got here. Now I've got cosine squareds on both sides of the equation. And as far as I'm going to approach this, I'm going to get all the cosine squareds on one side by themselves. I'm going to move everything to the other side. I don't need to factor this one because there's no regular cosines and there's no other trig functions here. Okay, so it won't be set it equal to 0. It's going to be get the cosines by itself, then we'll take a root, kind of as a last step. So I'm going to subtract a 3 cosine squared x from both sides. That'll give me a 4 cosine squared x minus 3 is equal to 0. All right, I'm going to add 3 to both sides of this equation. So it'll give me a 4 cosine squared x is equal to positive 3. I'm going to write nicer too as I go through this. Divide both sides by 4. That leaves me with cosine squared x is equal to 3 over 4. And then one more step to get cosine by itself. I'm going to take the square root of both sides of the equation. Okay, canceling the square on the left, leave me with just a cosine x. So I'm down to a simple trig equation. Is equal to, since I took a square root, don't forget this, I need a plus or minus. I'm going to circle that. Don't forget to do that come test time. And then square root of 3, we'll just say is square root 3, but square root 4, we can just say is a 2. All right, so cosine x equals plus or minus root 3 over 2. Okay, so technically I've got 2 simple trig equations we're solving. Let's go through this. Now, where is cosine going to be positive or negative? Well, it's going to be positive or negative in all 4 quadrants. So if we're counting solutions between 0 and 2 pi here, we're going to have 4 of them, 1 for each quadrant. And I'm just going to map things out in the first quadrant here to get an idea what my reference triangle is. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So we have an adjacent side of root 3, hypotenuse at 2. Opposite side's got to be 1 because we're talking 30, 60, 90 right triangle. And then for solutions, what we have is we could say x is equal to 30 degrees, which is the same thing as pi over 6. Okay, second solution is then going to be 30 short of 180, or in other words, pi over 6 short of pi, so 5 pi over 6. And I'm going to go through these a little quicker, but if you need to, for this one, for example, say x is equal to 180 minus 30, which gives me 150 degrees. And I'm going to multiply that by pi over 180 to reduce down to 5 pi over 6. If you need to do all those steps, that's fine. Okay, but I'm going to kind of cheat. Next solution would be pi over 6 past pi, so in other words, 7 pi over 6. And if I keep going, my final solution would be pi over 6 short of 2 pi, the full rotation, so that would be an 11 pi over 6. All right, those are my 4 solutions between 0 and 2 pi. Okay, I don't need to worry about the infinite solutions. We just want to list them all between the 2 of those.